All right, let's discuss the Second Amendment to the Constitution that I want to propose. Simply, this amendment is going to be on same-sex marriage. Personally, I'm sick and tired of hearing the arguments. So I want to put an amendment on the Constitution that settles it once for all. It's done. It's over with. We ain't going to freaking argue about it anymore. Okay? Now, before I get asked any questions, my personal opinions. Personally, I disagree with homosexuality and homosexual marriage. As a Christian, I believe it is a sin. The Bible says it's an abomination before God, and therefore I disagree with homosexuality. Therefore, meaning I disagree with same-sex marriage. Marriage is between a man and a woman. And before we go any further, there are only two genders in this world, male and female. That's it, plain and simple. Every plant, animal, species on this planet has two genders, a male and a female. How hard is that? Alright, let me explain something to y'all folks. We have not evolved above Mother Nature. Mother Nature still rules the world. And when you think you're going to outsmart Mother Nature, she's going to come back and always win. Okay? We'll just put it simple. Alright? Yes, you can have surgery to change your appearance. But if you run Bruce Jenner's DNA, he's still Bruce freaking Jenner. Alright? That's the way it is. Now, on to the amendment of the Constitution. Same-sex marriage is not the law of the land. Do not believe the liberal mainstream media, President Obama, and all the other who want you to believe that it's legal to get married in the United States if you're a same-sex couple. It's not. Okay? And no, I know where everybody's going with this. The Supreme Court did not make it the law of the land. You want to know why? The Supreme Court don't make laws. The judicial branch of this government is a overseer of the legislative branch to ensure that all laws are written to be within the bounds of the Constitution. If a law is determined to be unconstitutional, the opposite of that law does not become the law. The law that was brought up before the Supreme Court was unconstitutional in accordance with the 14th Amendment, in that it banned same-sex marriage within the states that wrote the law. That was a party of the group of defendants. What I mean by that is Ohio was one of them. The legislation said that that Ohio will not participate in same-sex marriage, nor will it recognize same-sex marriage. Second part is what was unconstitutional. By the 14th Amendment, The 14th Amendment requires all states to recognize civil actions as for other states. Okay? So therefore, if in New York, where same-sex marriage is legal, if a same-sex couple is married in New York and then they move to Ohio, under the 14th Amendment, no matter what we want to do, has to recognize that couple as a legitimate married couple. Okay? If the legislatures that wrote these laws had wrote them to just ban the performance of same-sex marriage, that's constitutional. But when the Supreme Court overturned those laws as being unconstitutional, they cannot, in any way, shape, or form, make every state in the country perform same-sex marriage. They have no legal authority to do so. They have no constitutional authority to do so. Only the Congress of the United States can write laws. The Supreme Court can either say, yes, it's constitutional, or no, it's not. If the Supreme Court determines that a law is unconstitutional, then that law must go back to the originating legislative body to either be done away with or to be rewritten to be constitutional. The opposite of that law does not become the law. All right? So now that we're clear that same-sex marriage is not the law of the land, all right, then let's get into what the amendment's going to be about. The amendment is going to be written so that the same-sex marriage will be determined on a state-by-state basis. Period. Okay? And basically what the law is going to say is every state will have to pass legislation to be put on a ballot during a a general election, meaning a presidential election, for the voters to vote either yes or no. Meaning, if the voters vote yes, then the state's constitution will be amended to allow same-sex marriage. If the voters vote no, then the state's constitution will be amended to not perform same-sex marriage. But in the same law, same amendment, it will be required to be stated that any marriage performed in a other state that does allow same-sex marriage will be recognized in this state as a legitimate marriage. Okay? And it will be required to go in front of the vote of the people. The reason for that is twofold. One, we are a nation of governance by the people. Okay? So it's the people of the state's decision whether or not their state will perform same-sex marriages. Secondly, the reason for that is you have state legislatures who thumb their nose at the people and tell the people, screw you, we don't care what you think, we're going to pass the laws of what we want done. California is a perfect example. Okay? So therefore, I'm not going to leave it into the hands of those idiots in the state legislatures who could care less about the people that put them there. I want the people of the state to have the voice that they're supposed to have. Once this is passed, it's done, it's over with, we're finished. Okay? It's that simple. I'm not opposing same-sex marriage within the boundaries of the United States of America. Alright? This is a free country. We are freely, without persecution, willing to express ourselves, and that includes sexually. Even though I, on both morality, religion, and scientific, disagree with same-sex marriage. It is not for me or any other single person to determine whether or not somebody wants to be gay. If that's the lifestyle you choose to live and you want to live that way, more power to you. But the one thing that I'm sick and tired of is trying to push it down my throat and the majority of the rest of the United States who disagrees with it, that it should be acceptable and my children or grandchildren or other such things are supposed to be taught to be tolerant. Tolerance does not equate to acceptance. Just because I don't accept it doesn't mean I'm not tolerant. There's a difference. Okay? But that's the amendment to the Constitution that I'm going to propose when I get to Washington. We're going to clarify it. We're going to fix it. Okay? Done and over with. Thank you.